Do not believe blindly. Why the Buddha taught us to question his teachings and the teachings of the Buddha. There is a principle that is both profound and surprisingly modern. Buddhist followers are not encouraged to accept the Buddha's teachings blindly. Instead, the Buddha invited people to examine, clarify, and verify his teachings for themselves to see whether they are truly beneficial for one's own life and for the well-being of others. This approach may seem simple, but it carries a depth of wisdom that remains deeply relevant today. Faith without blind belief. The Buddha never said, "Believe in me because I am the Buddha." He never demanded in questioning faith. On the contrary, he emphasized that truth must be realized through direct experience, not merely accepted because of authority, tradition, or belief. In the Kalama Sutta, the Buddha clearly stated that one should not accept teachings simply because they have been passed down through generations. They come from respected teachers. They are written in sacred texts, they are widely believed, or they sound logical and appealing. None of these, the Buddha said, are sufficient on their own. Clarification as a core Buddhist practice. To clarify, in Buddhism, does not mean to doubt cynically or reject everything. Clarification means careful and mindful investigation. The Buddha encouraged people to ask, does this teaching reduce greed, hatred, and delusion? Does practicing it bring more peace or more agitation to the mind? Does it lead to wholesome actions that benefit oneself and others? If a teaching leads to well-being, clarity, and compassion, then it is worth embracing. If it does not, then it should not be blindly followed. Buddhism, a path of experience, not dogma. This is why Buddhism is often described not as a belief system, but as a path of practice and realization. The Buddha's teachings are not meant to remain as concepts or theories. They are meant to be lived, tested, and directly experienced. For example, the Buddha did not merely state that attachment causes suffering. He encouraged us to observe suffering as attachment arises. He did not ask people to believe that meditation leads to calm. He invited them to practice and discover it for themselves. In Buddhism, truth is not inherited. It is discovered. Benefit for oneself and others. A key element of this principle is that clarification is not only for personal benefit, but also for the well-being of others. A teaching cannot be considered wholesome if it creates a sense of superiority, encourages hostility or division, or is used to justify harm, whether physical or verbal. In Buddhism, the measure of truth is always connected to its effects. Does it cultivate compassion? Does it support wisdom? Does it reduce suffering in the world? If it fails to do so, then even a teaching claimed to be sacred should be carefully re-examined. Critical inquiry with mindfulness. The Buddha's encouragement to question does not promote arrogance or disrespect toward teachers. Rather, it represents deep respect for the Dhamma itself. By investigating teachings, we become active practitioners, not passive followers. We avoid dependency on authority, and we protect ourselves from dogmatism and fanaticism. The Buddha wished for disciples who are mentally independent, grounded in understanding rather than blind obedience. Relevance in the modern world. In today's world of social media and endless information, this principle is more important than ever. Teachings, quotes, and spiritual claims many attributed to the Buddha circulate widely, often without context or understanding. Without clarification, one may misunderstand the Dhamma, mix incompatible ideas, or practice in ways that strengthen ego rather than dissolve it. The Buddha's message remains clear and timeless. Do not accept teachings just because they sound beautiful. Test them through wisdom and experience. Personal responsibility on the path. Ultimately, the Buddha placed responsibility directly in our own hands. There is no coercion to believe, no punishment for questioning, only an invitation to see clearly. The Buddha shows the path, but each of us must walk it ourselves. If a teaching brings peace, wisdom, and compassion, continue practicing it. If it does not, have the courage to question and clarify, because in the Buddha's teaching, truth is not defined by who teaches it, but by whether it truly leads to freedom from suffering.